Wow. We have some major breaking Philadelphia Eagles news to get to here on the show. For the first time since 2013, legendary Eagles offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland will not be coaching for the Eagles this upcoming season. This is a huge deal and a massive story. Let's talk about it here. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. As always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And all of your support of the channel is greatly appreciated. Without all of you, what we do would not be possible, and we wouldn't be able to do things like this, where I'm coming to you live from the site of Super Bowl 60, the Moscone Center in downtown San Francisco, bringing you shows on the birds all throughout the week from Super Bowl Radio Row. And speaking of that, when this news broke, I got the notification on my phone, and I'm looking around at a bunch of people who are involved in the NFL, playing in the NFL, coaching in the NFL, covering the NFL, and everybody's looking at each other saying, is this real? Am I getting got by a fake Twitter account? Jeff Stoutland is not going to be coaching the Eagles this upcoming season? Yes, that's exactly what's happening here, and that's why you subscribe to the program. Whenever there's breaking news, I always have you covered, so lock us in, join the movement, and hit that sub button right now. And it was Jeff Stoutland himself who broke this news just moments ago by tweeting this out. Heartfelt, with a lot of character, keeping it real and authentic, and that's who Jeff Stoutland is. Had an opportunity to interview him at the last couple of Super Bowls, back when the Eagles made it against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, and then when the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl last year. And he's the type of coach who doesn't take any BS. He's the type of coach who keeps it real with you. And that's the type of coach that I appreciate. No cookie cutter, beating around the bush. He might be harsh in his assessment, but it's going to make you better. And that's what he's been able to do for more than a decade with this Eagles organization. And so he takes to Twitter the only way that he knows how to convey a message like this and says this: Philadelphia, I've decided my time coaching with the Eagles has come to an end. When I arrived in 2013, I did not know what I was signing up for. I quickly learned what this city demands, but more importantly, what it gives back. The past 13 years have been the great privilege of my coaching career. I didn't just work here, I became one of you. Stout out. And it's very rare for an offensive line coach, not a head coach, not an offensive coordinator, not a defensive coordinator, an offensive line coach to become a part of the fabric of a city, to mean so much to a city. But Philadelphia and Eagles fans know ball. Eagles fans understand how much Jeff Stoutland has meant to this organization, and he is going to be greatly, greatly missed. And we're going to talk about this over the next several minutes, but this signifies a serious shift with this new Eagles offensive scheme, this new Eagles offensive coaching staff, and the offensive coordinator who got hired last week in Sean Mannion from the Green Bay Packers. And what goes to show you how much Jeff Stoutland has meant to this Eagles organization, check out this message that the Eagles sent out. The Eagles statement on Jeff Stoutland. The Eagles thank Jeff Stoutland for his legendary contributions to the game of football at the college and professional levels. Stout's influence throughout football is immense, having helped countless players reach their true potential, including many who went on to earn All-Pro honors and some who developed into future Hall of Fame talents. His passion for the development of young players set the bar not only for our organization, but for the entire National Football League. It is hard to fathom another coach investing more personally and professionally in their players than Jeff Stoutland. And just a quick pause from that statement. Lane Johnson was drafted in 2013. Jeff Stoutland is the only offensive line coach he has had in what is going to be an eventual Hall of Fame career. How does this impact Lane Johnson's future with the Eagles? Does he decide to retire? Does he come back knowing that Stoutland will not be his offensive line coach? More from the Eagles. Our organization is deeply grateful for Stout's contributions to our team over the last 13 years, in addition to helping deliver 3 Super Bowl trips and 2 world championships to the city of Philadelphia. He has been a champion of our community, having been given much of his time and effort to the Eagles Autism Foundation and many of our team's philanthropic initiatives. Although he will not be competing with us on game day, he will always be a beloved member of the Eagles family. His impact on this franchise and our community is immeasurable, and it's safe to say he will always be welcome in the city of brotherly love. Again, that goes to show you how much Stoutland has meant to this organization, to this team, to the players, and this city. And Jeff Stoutland has to know what an impact he was able to make as an offensive line coach for this to be the reaction. And if you remember during the Eagles offensive coordinator search, when the Eagles were going through the interview process, casting a wide net and interviewing a plethora, a bevy of candidates, this was one of the concerns that I mentioned. This was also something that we talked about last week when Adam Schefter left us with that cliffhanger that some big news could be happening next week as well. Now, Jeff Stoutland, not going to be coaching the Eagles in 2026. Vic Fangio flirting with retirement. Is that what Schefter was alluding to? But what I was alluding to back a couple of weeks ago, I had voiced my concerns about this, that a potential holdup in the Eagles' ability to hire an offensive coordinator was Jeff Stoutland potentially. Not because he's not a good coach, but because Stoutland of late over the last few years has been the Eagles' run game coordinator. What does a new OC want to do? A new offensive coordinator, of course, wants to call plays, shape the offense as they see fit. They want to have ownership of the offense from a scheme, play calling, play design standpoint, but also with the coaching staff. And a new offensive coordinator, if they were to come to Philadelphia, they might look at the Eagles situation and say, I respect Stoutland. Guy's a legendary coach, one of the best ever in coaching offensive linemen in NFL history. But I want my own run game coordinator, and the Eagles seem to be tied to Jeff Stoutland. So that was a potential holdup in the Eagles trying to find a new OC, and with Sean Mannion coming in, this is Stoutland's decision to walk away, to leave the Eagles organization, or to at least leave the coaching staff. Did he not see eye to eye with the run game concepts and the scheme with Sean Mannion? That is a potential talking point here. And this also comes a week after Jeff McLean of the Philadelphia Inquirer had reported that Stoutland had his run game coordinator duties taken away from him last year. And last year, this Eagles offensive line and the Eagles run game was a huge issue. The offensive line wasn't good. The run game was lackluster, even though Saquon Barkley went over 1,000 yards. And it was kind of odd to see how the Eagles were so much better running the ball from under center compared to shotgun. Was that a Stoutland thing? Who knows? I think he would tell you that he could have done a better job last year compared to what he had done in previous years. But I don't think that played a role into him stepping away. I think it's more so him not seeing eye to eye potentially with new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion. And look, if Mannion gets this job and everybody's been clamoring and asking for this Eagles offense to look different, put your trust in this Sean Mannion. Clearly the Eagles organization has Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and if he wants his own run game coordinator in there, an offensive line coach, got to give him that opportunity. But this is a risk. This is a huge loss for Philadelphia because Jeff Stoutland has been one of the backbones and foundational pillars of this Eagles organization. And you think about how successful the Eagles have been over the last several years, one of the most successful teams across the NFL. The backbone and the strength of this Eagles team has been their offensive line. The reason for that, Jeff Stoutland. And how about what Jason Kelce had to say? Quote, "There is absolutely no one I credit more with the career I had than Jeff Stoutland. The consistent passion and his eagerness to teach pushed my teammates, me, and our room to amazing success. More importantly, we became incredibly close as people. It was more than just coaching and teaching. It was his presence and sense of urgency that was unaccepting of mediocrity and potential left behind. He will undoubtedly be missed inside the building and everyone that played for him. I am incredibly grateful to have played for Stout. One-of-one coach in person. I love you, coach." And isn't this crazy too? Jeff Stoutland had a Pro Bowler along his offensive line in all 13 seasons when he was with the Eagles. That is the longest streak for any team since the merger in 1970, according to Pro Football Writers of America. He's had 5 players earn All-Pro honors. Lane Johnson, 2017 and 2021 through 2024. Jason Kelce, 2017 and 19, 21 to 23. Jordan Mailata in 2024. Evan Mathis, 2013. Jason Peters, 2013-14. LaShawn McCoy and Saquon Barkley both led the NFL in rushing behind Jeff Stoutland's offensive lines. A big question from many of you and from me, what happens with Stoutland in the future? Does he stay? Does he go? I'll tell you this. Here at Chat Sports on the VP of Content Strategy, we cover all 32 teams across the NFL with daily shows on every team, and we let our company know via a Slack channel what we're working on and the content that we're pushing out to just get in the creative marketplace of ideas. When this news broke, a lot of people went on their channels and talked about the possibility of hiring Jeff Stoutland because he's going to have suitors all across the NFL, because he is an all-time coach, and as Jason Kelce said, one of one. Zach Berman with this report, the Eagles wanted Stoutland back, according to a league source. It sounds like this was Stoutland's decision to step away. From my understanding, he'll still be welcome around the team in an unofficial capacity. Ian Rappaport had reported that he was going to stay with the organization, but I'm not sure what capacity that would be in, and it seems as though he'll just be welcome to come around whenever he pleases. And he deserves that. He's earned that. This is not the only big coaching change that we might see with Sean Mannion coming in as the new Eagles offensive coordinator. A name to watch, according to Mike Garafolo, is Greg Olsen. And Greg Olsen could be taking over as Eagles quarterbacks coach. Now, the Eagles have not commented on Scott Loeffler's status, but Greg Olsen, who finished last year as the Raiders' interim offensive coordinator, is a name to watch here. Sean Mannion played under Olsen with the Seahawks, and sources say he'd be interested in bringing him to Philadelphia. Scott Loeffler stepped down from Bowling Green as the head coach last offseason during the NFL Combine to take this Eagles quarterbacks coach job. But with Mannion coming in, it's a new OC, new scheme, new system. Mannion might want one of his guys as quarterbacks coach. And Greg Olsen is very well respected in NFL league circles. And Honest NFL, I think, is one of the better follows on X when it comes to football evaluation and tape study. And Honest NFL had this tweet, which I think is worth putting stock into. If you're going to let good coaches go, you better make sure you hire new coaches that are good teachers rather than just somebody who knows a particular system well. Greg Olsen is an outstanding quarterbacks coach who also happens to know a particular system very well. I think that'd be a very good hire for the Eagles. So we'll see what the Eagles do on that front. I've been talking to a bunch of people here from Super Bowl Radio Row around San Francisco about a lot of this stuff, and I've been passing along a lot of my reporting and what I've been hearing here on the show. I'll continue to do that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Breaking, shocking news here on Eagles Now on this Wednesday, February 4th. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at Chase_Senior. I'm on Facebook, Chase Senior Chat Sports. And we'll continue to provide you with great coverage right here on Eagles Now. Thanks for tuning in.